We're going to call this meeting to order. It's the Orange Recycling Committee. This is Wednesday, May 20th, 2020. And we're going to call the meeting to order. It's about 7:08. And members of the Recycling Committee that are with us tonight are Karen Della Justina, Chris Prokop, Eileen Moyer, Mark Moyer, Patrick Legault, and Loretta Smith. So that we have a quorum, and I'm going to ask if next on the agenda is public input. I don't see anyone for public input tonight, but I'd like to give a little bit of public input for a minute. I've been chagrined by many things that have happened with the COVID-19 pandemic, and one of the things that I've really has bothered me, but it's just a fact of life, has been the effect of COVID-19 on recycling. We've seen so many recycling things shut down. The paint care is shut down at the transfer station. The tires are shut down at the transfer station. Even the Goodwill has shut down at the transfer station. And we know we'll talk about the pink bag program later, but that has shut down permanently for residential pickup. In addition to that, we've worked hard as a committee and as a state environmentally to try and phase out and ban plastic bags, and yet now they're back in the supermarkets to be a safer way to get groceries, although people still can bring their recyclable, reusable bags to the grocery store as long as they're willing to bag it themselves. We've seen so much disposable that was not disposable before. When these restaurants reopen, the menus have to be paper and they have to be disposed of after they're used. Utensils at the restaurants will all be plastic, and those will be disposed of after one use. The gloves, the masks, so many things that are just, either used one time and then disposed of as well. It's just very concerning to those of us who serve on a recycling committee and anyone who cares about the environment. But it is, as they say, what it is. Hopefully we will get back to a new normal at some point in the near future when we can go back to recycling more so than we have been recently, and changing some of our habits back to where we were able to do that. But there's some things that have changed, and we're seeing things that may change for good, and not all of it is good for the environment since there's so much just being disposed of. So that's my personal public comment for this evening.
No, I agree with you, Mitch. You're right. All the things with the restaurants and the paper and the menus, and we're kind of in a tough spot now, aren't we?
We certainly are. We certainly are.
Yeah.
Okay, next up on our agenda is review of our last minutes, which were also.
Eileen had a question.
Oh, sorry, Eileen.
That's okay. Should I wait till later?
It depends. You want to do it during public input, or is it part of the agenda?
It's public input. It's regarding the restaurants.
Yeah.
The rules the restaurants will be following. Who puts that out? Because maybe they can include some suggestions on how to still be environmentally conscious, like only give out utensils, like if only give out spoons if the person ordered soup. Don't put a spoon at every place setting. And
right. I don't know. I think most of this has come out starting with the governor, and then he has delegated some things to different departments, like the regulations coming from different departments. I'm not sure. I think I believe the restaurant regulations are coming from DECD. I might be wrong, Department of Economic and Community Development. And listen, the number one thing everyone is looking at and everyone should be looking at is public safety. So, I get it, but I think you're right, Eileen. And hopefully as things progress, and I use that in a positive way, that we will be able to, and relax is the wrong word, but change some of the ways things are being done to allow for, other things. I mean, certainly if you're dishwashing, spoons, forks, and knives, they can certainly be used again and be sanitized and cleaned.
Right.
But for right now, that's not the orders. The orders are different. And, a lot of places are stocking up on a lot of things that are very disposable. And it's just the way it is. The wipes. And one last comment I should make. I've heard about this, not from Orange yet, although it may happen in Orange, but I want to make this, since we are on OGAT right now. Please, please, please do not flush flushable wipes. The only
Yes.
thing that should
Right.
be going into your
Yeah.
toilet should be what goes into the toilet and toilet paper, because they are not biodegradable. And I've heard definitely in Guilford. I said I don't know about Orange, but there have been a number of septic tank failures and clog ups because of people putting things down the toilet that are not supposed to go there. So since we are almost on 100% on septic systems in the town, even if you're on a sewer, it wouldn't matter. It still clogs things up. With your own personal septic tank, please do yourself a favor. Do not flush. Even flushable wipes
Yes.
will be harmful to your system and will be very expensive if you have to replace a septic system. I think everyone realizes that. So, or
That's a
even
great reminder.
clean it out more often than you want to. Chris, you
Mm.
want to say something?
No, I'm just agreeing, and thanks for sharing that, because that is one of those items, because they say flushable is deceiving, but I've heard a few stories myself of how that's really damaged and set people back with septic systems.
In
Right.
California, they had trouble, which is pretty disgusting, of people actually using T-shirts.
Yeah, I saw that film. It's
Like
really
T-shirt.
unbelievable. So, all
But
right,
I've seen
Real
pictures.
desperate.
Loretta?
I've seen pictures in, I've seen pictures, I think in New York and maybe Paris, where the sewage systems are totally clogged up with flushable wipes. And to me, it seems to be that it's even irresponsible of the companies who make these things to say they are flushable. Because sure, you can flush down a spoon, you can flush anything down the toilet, but it doesn't mean that it's good.
Right. No, thank you. And I just try to do this as more as a public service announcement from our
Sure.
recycling committee. So thank you, Loretta.
Oh, no.
Appreciate that. Yes. Okay. So next up is the minutes from our April 15th meeting, which was also a Zoom meeting. Are there any additions or corrections to the minutes, or is there a motion?
I would like to say that Mark is really an incredible minute taker. So kudos to Mark.
Not only is
And
he an incredible minute taker, he's unpaid. So we want to thank him for that.
Yeah.
A real
Amen.
volunteer.
Wait, he's unpaid?
All right, watch it.
I'll make a motion.
move that we accept. What?
Chris makes a motion to
Chris
accept the
made
minutes. Loretta has seconded the motion to accept the minutes of April 15th
Right.
as presented.
I make a motion to pay Mark.
Is there any further discussion besides that? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? If not, motion carries unanimously from everyone that is present tonight. Okay, next up, the treasurer's report. Mark is also our treasurer, and I think you want to report on the bills that you paid recently.
Yeah, yes, our treasurer report started off at $1,720.94. I submitted the invoices for $328.46 to John and Corinne at Town Hall. I've not yet got the reimbursement, but once I do, we'll have $1,392.48 left over pending that check.
Okay. Mark, would you also do us a favor and touch base with Finance Director John Cifarelli and check for us on our allotment for 2020, 21?
That usually is in July, right? Comes out beginning of
Yeah,
July?
yeah, but just make sure he's got it in his kitty there for us, as he always has. So
Okay.
we'll move forward with that. All right. Is there any other questions about the treasurer's report? Okay.
No.
If not, we'll move on to our recycling rates. I am pleased to say that our recycling rates for the third month in a row are higher than they were the year previous, exactly a year previous. We recycled 84.97 tons in April, which is the last report we have, versus 81.21 tons a year ago, for a 4.6% increase in the month, leaving us with a 6.5% increase year to date from January through April. So it must be all the extra wine bottles that are going into recycling bins right now. Oh, was I speaking about myself? Or
Well, I wish.
So, yeah, the recycling rates are up, which is good. I'm glad to see that at least is happening from our residential recycling. Any questions on that? If not, we'll move on to old business. Chris, you want to give us the update on the shed? I keep getting questions about it, so I'm going to turn to you.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. I'm
Plastic
actually,
bags.
what's that?
For the plastic bags at the transfer station.
For the plastic bags at the transfer station shed, and I apologize. Dash, my poodle here, likes attention when he sees me on the Zoom. But yes, I am actually getting excited. As folks know, Home Depot has agreed to partner with us regarding the shed to replace the shed that deteriorated and blew away essentially last year. And unfortunately, as most folks know, we were moving forward after the new year with this a new shed plan, and the manager had come out to the site and did some measurements, and we were not able to install anything due to the COVID crisis that hit, and they had to shift their resources and their attentions towards servicing their stores, because they've become increasingly busy and have remained open as an essential site. So but I did speak to Matt recently, who has been keeping me posted, and obviously as things were settling down, we were hoping things would pick back up. And what he did say is he did get the approval that June 1st they were going to move forward with approving those the special projects that sites that various stores participate in the communities. So he sensed that he asked me to call him back on June 1st to and he was hopeful that we would move forward with the shed, and that would be a project where they would work with the town and work with us in installing something that's secure, that will last for a long time, and be able to be user friendly for residents to go into to dispose of their plastic bags. We did have a quick conversation, obviously with, as Mitch mentioned, with the increased flow of plastic. I mentioned how the residents are really kind of getting tired and also eager to have a site that they could just drop off at the transfer station, and how we are even considering purchasing something small. So I put it out there that if we had to purchase something in the meantime, we'd like to entertain that conversation if we could not get a green light early June. So he understood completely, how frustrating this obviously could be. But I'm hopeful, keep my fingers crossed, that when I reach out to him the beginning of June, that we'll be able to hear some good news, and then it'd be a matter of just obviously coordinating, something being installed and put up before the summer for sure.
Well, that'd be great. Chris, thank you for continuing to check on that. I know we've all been listening to people who want to recycle the plastic bags, the plastic wrap, actually probably the plastic gloves at this point.
Yeah.
So, I'd love to, hear more about that. So hopefully next month we'll hope to get a more of an update. And Chris, I know you'll keep us posted if something happens between meetings. So
Absolutely, I will.
thank you. Any questions?
Ask a question.
Go ahead, Loretta.
Yes, the lady, was it Susan Wyland or something, who said that we can't recycle plastic bags anywhere, but then one of our members came back and said, yes, you can, a big Y.
Yep.
And I included that in my article last time. Would you like me to put that in again?
Well, if it was in the last article, I would put something different in the next one, but that's
Okay.
but maybe.
Okay, that's fine.
And Eileen tries
And-
to keep Eileen keeps things updated on our Facebook page too, things like that, and the website.
Yes.
As to where things
Yeah,
stand
I've
in
kept, the
That's
Facebook
right.
page has been a little slow lately, so I kind of need to circle back and get some more posts up there. I think Amy was gonna help me, but that hasn't come to fruition yet. But at any rate, yeah, I can put up about the supermarkets and I can ask people to chime in and say where they see them or don't see them.
That'd be
So that
great.
Hopefully people will.
Yeah, that's a
have
good
that
idea.
information.
Excellent.
And in my article, would you like me to say something about, we hope to know by June 1?
I'd hold off on that till we know something. We've been disappointed before, so let's wait till we actually
Yeah.
know. But
Okay,
thank you, though.
sure.
All right. Any other questions on that? Okay. Next up was the Orange Community and Business Expo scheduled for June 10th. That has been canceled, not surprisingly, but unfortunately, like a lot of other things. Our next up is our tour of Oak Ridge Recycling Plant, which is also still on hold and will remain on hold until, at least we can gather more than 5 people at one time, which we still can't. So we're going to hold that off till next month and keep that on the agenda because I know people are anxious to get a tour of that recycling plant. And I see Eileen's hand. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Regarding the expo, on their Facebook page, I think it said postponed, but are you saying it's just canceled outright?
I don't know for sure. I don't know when it will be postponed to.
Okay, yeah, they
So-
didn't have anything, any date, but
Okay. If
I'm
it's
guessing it's gonna
postponed,
be canceled, right? It's
Yeah,
not that big of a,
it'll either be in the fall or not at all.
okay,
Um,
thank you.
I don't know for sure, but thank you for that. So I don't want to, but if it is rescheduled or when it is rescheduled, I'm sure we will know, we'll be notified, and I'll notify everybody here because I know we want to be present. But that's a gathering of a lot of people, so that's not going to happen until that is allowed. And I think most of the summertime and even into some of the fall events have already been canceled.
They canceled the Fireman's Carnival, right, Mitch?
The Fireman's Carnival, the fireworks, obviously this weekend's Memorial Day Parade is not happening, or ceremonies for that matter. And, and the only things that are still open for discussion at the moment are the farmers market. If they can comply with some of the regulations for the outdoor farmers market, that may still happen. I know that's being looked into, as is the country fair, but the country fair is one of the very few in the state that have not yet been canceled. So
You want to bring that up under new business?
well, sure. It's
No, because I mean, I was just going to update you on what I know from.
Okay, we'll come back to that in new business then.
Okay.
All right. So, but things that are still happening, at least as of right now, our Has Waste Days are still happening. The first couple weekends of the Has Waste Days have been postponed, but I believe they're opening the Has Waste down at Sergeant Drive in New Haven. It's supposed to open mid-June, which means our date of June 27th and our date of October 3rd for us to man and woman the site there is still on. So for those that are signed up for June 27th, we're still on
Alright.
for that. Until I hear otherwise, because I did contact them and they said, yes, we are still on. And they're still on. Remember, the Has Waste, no one gets out of their car. And everybody who's dealing with the waste is already in hazmat suits anyway. And it would just be us. And I'm sure if we're just, and people are being encouraged to fill out the forms ahead of time. So if it's us, we would be just handing the forms and collecting those. And I'm sure we'll be wearing masks. So,
That's good news at
And
least.
gloves.
Yeah.
Pat, I'm sorry.
No, I'd say that's good news at least. Hopefully that stays
Yep.
on.
Okay. Our shredding day, especially for those that are listening and watching us on OGAT, October 17th. We're still on right now, hoping that we make that happen. That would be shredding day, as well as mattress collection, as well as the Orange Community Women. For right now, October 17th is still a go. Obviously, like everything else, it could change. but everybody's on board right now for October 17th. Unfortunately, we had to cancel the April 25th event, but we're going to be hopefully scheduling October 17th. Any comments, questions, concerns on that? Okay.
Mitch, can I just back up for a minute?
Oh, sorry, Chris.
Do we have enough volunteers for that day?
What, June 27th?
Yeah, that June 27th.
I believe we did. It was in the minutes.
I can't
Mark.
recall.
Yeah, I don't have the minutes in front of me. but
I know
there
that
was-
I'm doing
there
it.
was
I
at least 3
volunteer.
of us for the 27th.
Okay.
27th has me and Pat. So we only had 2. We could probably use at least one more person on the 27th if anybody else is willing. We
Yeah,
had,
I don't have any plans. And as I'm looking there and watching Dr. Karen serving in New York, as one of our top docs and treating patients, the least I could do is serve at the waste.
Oh my God, we need social workers so bad. I gotta draft you.
Yes, I can imagine. We're quite busy here in New Haven as well.
I'm
That is for
sure.
sure. A
Now,
big shout
Karen,
out
we
to
thank
all
you
our
for your
healthcare
service in New
providers.
York.
Sure. I'm
Yeah.
I'm trying to fly under the radar.
Yeah.
Actually. So.
Okay.
There I go, putting it out there for the whole public.
Okay. So Chris, you'll
That's
try,
okay. No, I don't, that's fine. Don't worry
Yeah,
about it.
sure.
Chris, you'll try to be here for the 27th then? in June?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So
So
I'm
we're gonna
around.
add Chris to that, and anybody else who wants to help out. We should have at least 3 or 4. That's probably enough also. I mean, anybody else is probably too much, so that
Okay.
works out well. Okay. Is there anybody else for anything other old business?
No.
Okay, if not, new business. So first the bad news and then the hopeful good news. The bad news is, as most of you, I know everyone on this call knows, and Simple Recycling has canceled our pink bag textile residential pickup. And then, and so that's a done deal. That's done. We got the letter. I sent that out. We put it on OGAT. It was on we put it on Orange CT Live, and of course, people that are on my distribution list for anything and everything to do with recycling received an email from me as chairman of this committee about that as well. A lot of emails came back to me, very, very disappointed because people have been, and I've got a closet full of pink bags in the closet because we've been trying to clean out certain things. But don't throw them away yet, because that leads me to the next point. About a week after this came out, Ken Lenz, who you know has been a big proponent of recycling and also helps out with the Lions Club and our shredding day with the mattresses, emailed me and let me know that Milford was notifying their residents that as of, I guess, this past Monday, the pink bag program was resuming. And he was concerned as to why it was happening in Milford and wasn't happening in Orange. And I said, I have the same concerns. So I got on the phone with our rep, Sonny Wilkins, is also the person that penned the letter to Sylvie Napoli that said we're canceling, and try to get him to explain why Orange is canceled and Milford isn't. And his answer was this. Almost all the towns in this area have canceled because the Stanford plant is closed. If I get this right, but the New Britain plant is still open. And we're like equidistant between New Britain and we could have gotten $40 a ton if we were able to work something out with city carting to actually use an iPad on their trucks. And every time they saw a pink bag, they would click on the iPad, and then Simple Recycling, instead of driving up and down every street in town, would know exactly where the pink bags were and pick them up. We couldn't reach that deal with city carting. In Milford, they pick up their own trash, their own public works. So their own public works were doing the click and point or point. About if we have people call a number and actually schedule themselves 24 hours in advance, they got to call a number so you'll know which households to go to. Once again, he liked the idea, but thought it would be too labor intensive for them to do it that way. So the third thing we came up with, actually he came up with, and what I want to propose to you tonight is the idea of replacing And this would take town action from the Board of Selectmen, I'm sure, certainly the first selectman, who I've not spoken to yet about this. I want to talk to you guys first. Although he may be watching us, to replace the Goodwill trailer at the transfer station. They do not want to compete with Goodwill, but they would be willing to replace Goodwill, and then people would be able to bring their pink bags, or not even in pink bags, to a trailer which they would supply at the transfer station instead of Goodwill. Remember, they'll take more than what Goodwill will take. They'll take the things that Goodwill won't take, the torn, the stained, clothing, shoes that are worn out, plus the good stuff. Don't get me wrong. They want the good stuff too, because they do make money on it. If we are to replace the Goodwill trailer, which pays the town nothing, is just a way of diverting, the materials from our hopper. A few times to get the trailer unloaded. It's been overflowing. Now that's before the pandemic. Right now, that trailer is closed because Goodwill is not collecting at the transfer station. Just as a side note, if you have things for Goodwill, you can bring them to their Orange or Milford facilities on weekdays. I believe it's from 10 to 6, not weekends. They do have a collection going there at their own place. But Steve's thought was this: we can get and I agree with him, but I want to give him credit. He said, look, the town can get $60 a ton versus getting $0 a ton. It's a no-brainer.
It is.
If people really want to go to Goodwill, if they feel that allegiance, they can always bring it a half mile or a mile down the street.
Exactly.
And bring it directly to Goodwill.
That's exactly it. Exactly,
right.
exactly it.
Yeah,
What's the
that's right.
cost or the, what needs to be done in order to change out the dumpster? Like, is it the same dumpster and just change the sign?
No, I believe, and we have to look into this. We believe that Goodwill owns that dumpster. It's not a dumpster. It owns that trailer roll off. So, I will, first of all, my request tonight is to ask this board committee to endorse this as an idea, recommend it to the Board of Selectmen, or whatever powers there are that need to be done here. Obviously, I will support that at the Board of Selectmen meeting if this committee does endorse it. Like I say, I haven't had a discussion with the first selectman yet. I wanted to bring it here first to make sure we had the support before going further. And then it would take, and it's not going to happen overnight. First of all, we'd have to get a contract with Simply Recycling. We'd have to, Goodwill would be notified, would have to remove their trailer, then Simply Recycling have to get their trailer in. Plus, they are still hampered because of the pandemic. Yes, they're starting back up, but they're starting back up, as you see, slower. This will probably take, my estimation, several months. But I think there's potentially a light at the end of the tunnel for our further pink bag type recycling. It just will not be curbside. People will have to take it themselves or have somebody take it for them to the transfer station. But I think it gives us loads of possibilities and triples the amount of money we're receiving per ton than we were receiving.
And it doesn't have to be in the pink bags, like, so then people don't have to worry about procuring the pink bags.
I will, if we get that far, Eileen, I will certainly clarify that with Sunny. I don't believe so, because they'll know that everything in that trailer is for them. I don't think it'll have to be in a pink bag at all. But we'll find out.
The other thing I thought of as you were speaking about the whole curbside thing is, if they already have an app in place where drivers, would notify them, and that's how it would have been the $40 thing. Maybe they're close to an electronic way of people can just put their addresses in to somehow, like the person just puts in their address online somewhere or on an app. And then
I'll have further discussions with Sonny as well, and that's a great idea. I'll ask him about it. It seems that they do have this app that they use with the iPad. I'm not sure. Well, I know for right now it's not publicly accessible, but I can ask, if that's an idea, but it may not generate enough people to do it themselves. I thought of the phone call, just call a number and say, well, I'll have a pink bag at 291 Drummond Road this week, boom, they would know. But we'll see. I mean, we're looking for believe me, I was looking for any way to continue this program. And I think we ended up with something that at least the people that be most affected. And that's Sylvie Napoli, because she is the office manager for Public Works in Town Hall, and Steve Jaser, who is the supervisor at the transfer station. Those are our two, main people that would be affected by this. And so they both gave it the thumbs up, and I saw some thumbs up come up on the screens here. So
Yeah, that's great.
A definite no-brainer, and Goodwill might even not be so upset if it's been a pain for them to try to get the stuff. So
I
maybe they
don't know.
prefer
I don't know
that all
what
their stuff gets donated at the other place.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. Goodwill's got plenty of opportunities to bring things to them.
Yeah.
They do.
Like,
Yeah, they're very wise how they collect
yeah. I mean,
items.
they're kind of a for-profit. I mean, there's something in it for them too. Here's the other
Yeah.
deal. Maybe they can put the rack and pack in there too, Mitch.
maybe.
Oh, wait, but they're still not going to walk it down though, are they? Never mind.
But yeah, that's a good point. But the other thing to keep in mind is a good point you made about Goodwill, that there are other opportunities for them, Pat. And certainly, if we're able to do this, I think we can, make it work. But I think the other thing that happens, and a lot of people are not aware of this, I've observed this myself, and I've been told this from other people as well. When Goodwill comes to pick up, they don't just drag that trailer out with everything in it. They go through it first.
Mhm.
And what's been told to me is approximately 25 to 50% of what's put in that trailer ends up in the hopper.
Wow.
No,
It's
That-
stuff that they cannot use because it's either broken,
Yeah.
things that's just obvious to them. If somebody puts a bicycle in there that's got a bent rim, it's going in the hopper or it's going in the metal pile. People put plastic toys in there that are cracked. If you've been to a Goodwill store, it's not top of the line, but it's not junk either. I mean, they
Yeah,
are
true.
selling stuff
I agree.
they are selling stuff that has a value and is not, cracked, broken, that kind of stuff. And then certainly not selling clothing that is either ripped or stained. Whereas, Simple Recycling will take that, and they have a market for that too. One of the other reasons why Simple Recycling is starting up slowly is because their market has dried up during the pandemic, and the places that buy the textiles from them are slowly reopening in other parts of the country. So once again, this will take some time, but I'm hopeful we can make it work. Loretta, I see you want to say something. Yes, no?
Oh, no, you can see me.
I can see you lit up as if you were about to say something.
Oh, no,
Okay.
I had a phone call.
Chris.
Yeah.
Quick question. I do know Goodwill is a great resource for folks in the community, and I'm glad they are close. So it's not it's almost like you were saying, it's a no-brainer in a sense that folks can still get there, right from the transfer station. Even I'm just curious, does Simple Recycling, will they take all the same items, or will we have to kind of be clear for folks to know, like, these items clearly won't be able to go into the bin? Because like you said, I've seen in the Goodwill bin everything from bikes to dressers to furniture to clothes to toys. I don't know how much of that similar kind of item folks will be able to drop off.
They will not take furniture, that I know.
Okay.
They won't take couches or chairs or tables. Those things they're not going to take. But there's a lot of weight in those clothes. Anybody who's dragged a pink bag out to the curb, there's a lot of weight in those clothes.
Oh, yeah.
And there's a lot of textiles out there. And it's certainly an outlet for us to recycle. And remember, those things that no one's taking except Simple Recycling would otherwise end up eventually, after used as rags or whatever, eventually end up in the municipal solid waste, and we are paying about $100 a ton to get rid of it, whereas here we can get paid $60 a ton to recycle it. So
yeah, I think it's a great solution to
Wonderful idea.
multiple challenges. So yeah, great. Thanks for all your work on this.
So would
Yeah,
somebody
we
like to make a
support it.
motion? Sorry, Mark.
Yeah, I said we support it a full 100%.
So I need
It's a
somebody to make a
no-brainer.
motion to support and recommend to the Board of Selectmen or whomever has to be the replacement of the Goodwill trailer at the transfer station by Simple Recycling.
Sure, I'll make the motion.
Okay, Mark made a motion.
Second.
I see Pat put his thumb up, so I get
That's fine. Does that count as a motion?
That was a second
Look
from
at
Pat.
I'll do it the old-fashioned way.
All right, since
Mitch, then maybe then if it does come to fruition, we could spend some of our budget to publicize it. Like maybe we could make flyers that go in the newspaper, or we can buy an ad in the newspaper or buy ads on the website.
That's a
you know, like Barnes Live
great idea,
website.
Eileen. I would
And
hope,
also-
I hope Civil Recycling helps us do the most of the publicity, but that's true. It's a great idea.
And also, we would have to replace some of the signage to change the thing that says Goodwill to,
And we would have to pay for that through, and you know what? I said to Steve Jaser, I said, that's why we put the signage on the front, the first sign coming in on removable
Yeah.
bracket. So we can do that. And I also said that if we get this done, we also need to replace the sign in the back for brush and leaves because that one got destroyed.
yeah.
But we'll do that at the same time, hopefully. So I have a motion on the floor. Because we're on Zoom and some of you can't be seen, I'm going to do a roll call vote for everyone here. So Chris Prokop,
Aye.
Mark Moyer,
Aye.
Eileen Moyer,
Aye.
Pat Legault,
Aye.
Aye.
and Mitch Goldblatt. I too will be aye. So we have a unanimous vote on that, and I thank you all for that.
Karen?
Good.
Karen had to drop off. She had to leave at 7:30, unfortunately. I know, but she had to
Come
leave.
save the world.
Yeah, go save the world. She's our hero, the doctor.
She sure is.
Okay,
Oh, yeah.
is there any other new business? Mark, you wanted to bring up something?
Well, I was just bringing up the country fair because I have the application to fill out to reserve the booth and the table for the country fair. And I was looking online and I noticed a bunch of the major country fairs have already postponed, canceled until 2021. So I got in touch with Rob McCorkle and asked him, you know, what do I do? Do you want me to send this in? What's your refund? I know your refund policy, but is it worth it to go through the motion right now? And he came back and said that there's going to be a vote on June 1st. So just sit tight and they'll update us then. So he
Okay.
told me not to get the
Okay.
check and not mail in the application at this point.
Okay. And will it
That's
be,
why it wasn't in the budget in the meantime.
okay, let me ask you a question. Is it too late? Our next meeting is June 17th. Would we be late if we waited till that meeting to actually vote to do that or just determine to do that? I'm sure we would, but just, you know what I'm
Vote
saying?
to what?
To fill out the application. You already have the okay to do that, right?
Yeah, we already have the okay to do
Okay.
that. I was getting ready to process it and I did some research and decided to reach out to Rob and he
Okay,
said,
so I'm
put it
sure
on hold.
I'm sure we'll all hear. Certainly, I didn't realize June 1st was their day, but okay, we'll find out after June 1st. And obviously, if the fair is on, we want to participate. And if not, then we'll wait till next year, I guess. Thank you for that
This
update.
is not
Mark.
going to be on.
Yeah, I would be surprised if the fair was on, only because since so many of the other ones have gotten canceled, I mean, it would be nice, but all that's going to do is drive more people to the fairs that are open.
Right.
And with all the social distancing and who knows what the food restrictions are, ride restrictions, how are they going to wipe down rides for people and kids getting on them if they even have them at all? Just does not seem like a headache that they would want to undertake.
Right. Well, you know what? That's going to be a decision of the Country Fair Committee. We'll let them make that decision. I mean, each one of these events gets postponed or canceled, I feel pain because I love each of them, and I feel that they're pain because there's so much planning that goes into so many of these events, and a lot of man hours, women hours that make these things happen. So.
Well, that's really going to hurt the fire department too. That's a real tough one for them.
I've gotten word though that you will all be expecting to receive your raffle tickets and try to be as generous as possible for the Fireman's Carnival because they're still planning at this moment and having a raffle. I believe that's to be worked out. So hopefully that part still happens. That's a major part of it.
They can't do that through the mail anymore, can they? Wasn't
Yeah,
that
they
a
can.
problem?
That was reversed 2 years ago. So
Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
that's
Yeah.
good to know.
Yeah.
I didn't realize.
well, we'll wait to hear officially from them as well. Don't take my word for it, but I think that's what's going to be tried to be done. I certainly hope they do. Okay. So we voted on that. Any other new business? If
Yes.
not, I'm sorry, Loretta?
Yes, yes.
Oh, Loretta.
Yes. in my next article, which is due soon.
Yep.
I know that there has been publicity, you sent out the letter and so forth on pink bags, but not everybody reads Facebook, blah, blah, blah. Not everybody gets your emails. Shall I put that in the article, that it's been postponed, at least for now?
Well, you can put that the curbside has been canceled, yes. And you
Yes,
may also
curbside.
want to, you may also want to report that we're trying to find a way to collect at the transfer station, but we're working on it.
Okay.
If we can, we will, but sometimes there's
Okay.
hurdles that we may not be able to go through, but hopefully we can.
Good, good. And do you want me to, you said the tires, paint, Goodwill, they're all shut down at the dump. Should I say anything about that, or?
You could, because right now people are frustrated. If they get there, they may want to hold things. Some people are just going to throw
Yeah.
things in the hopper, which is unfortunate, or they're
Oh,
holding
boy.
things like all those plastic bags that Pat Legault's got coming out of his attic right now. And my garage as well. So for
Yeah.
right now, here's the deal. The paint care has been suspended. It's a state-run program, and that's been suspended for the time being due to the pandemic. I'm not sure where that falls under the governor's reopening plan. So that may be
Okay.
open as of today, for all I know, but I don't think it is.
They've run, okay.
Goodwill is the same problem. I'm not sure where that's at in the reopening. Because
Okay.
it's them
Okay.
being shut. Their stores have been shut down. If their stores
Yes.
reopen, they may be able to start picking the things up and opening up the Goodwill trailer for the time being. The tires, I understand, is just a case of, once again, the company that picks them up has not been responsive to the call to pick them up, probably because the company has not been in operation since this started. And once again, I'm not sure when they will be picking up. The only thing that was still open, besides the regular recycling, the mom and pop stuff that we all put together, the electronics trailer was still open. Those were still being picked up. So TVs, computers, printers, those are still open. So,
Okay,
so you
okay,
can
good.
report as you please.
Okay, okay.
Yep.
All right, I think that's sufficient. I'm not going to say anything about the shed for the plastic because we don't know. But how about
Right.
if I say something about how the recycling rates have gone up from last year?
Sure.
I could congratulate people on recycling.
Absolutely. Just don't put too many words in so we get cut. We want to make sure we get those articles in.
I know. I'll just, everything will take just one short sentence or something. Okay.
Okay.
You know.
Thanks, Loretta.
Loretta.
Appreciate your publicity for us on that. The only other piece of new business that this committee is already aware of, but I wanted to just say it publicly. One of our former members, Stephanie Jatlow, lost her husband, Peter, this past week. And, on behalf of our committee, we extend our condolences to Stephanie and her family for her loss and the family's loss. And certainly for those that may have known Peter, he certainly was a great guy, a very, very talented, smart individual. So,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That was such a surprise. It said he had been sick for a while.
yeah,
Right?
that's
what
what it said.
said.
Yeah, I wasn't aware, but yeah. Okay.
No. Sad.
Our next meeting will be Wednesday, June 17th. I expect it to be on Zoom, but we don't know. If buildings open up and we're able to meet in person, even socially distancing, we may meet live. I know Jim Zioli is planning the next Board of Selectmen to meet in the town hall live, if we can. He's determined to do that if we can. And so we'll play it by ear. But either way, I thank everybody. If there's nothing else, is there a motion to adjourn at about 7:54?
I'll make a motion.
Say something real quick, Mitch. I just
Yeah,
want
sure,
to say hello,
Pat.
I just want to say hello to Amy. Hope she's doing well.
Okay. Amy was able to make.
Oh, yeah.
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 She's doing better.
I'll
Okay.
make a motion.
Chris makes a motion to adjourn. Is there a second?
I'll make a
I will.
motion.
All right, second by Pat.
Sorry, Eileen, I beat you.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Bye.
Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Thank you, everyone, and keep recycling out there.
Thanks.